Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Veronica Mphathi and I like to encourage high achievers to go for their most daring goals because I don't want you to be lonely in that journey. So for selfish reasons, I'm doing this. But more importantly really is to say if somebody is sitting out there and they want to achieve their goals, they know that they have potential, maybe that could be you and maybe that's why this content is sort of relatable to you. So I'm here to just share my journey as I go, bring people on board who we could be learning and developing together with, or who we could be groomed by as we go along. So we're sharing, we're inspiring one another, and we are looking to grow. That is what is the common denominator. We are done with yesterday. We are on to bring on the next thing. So today I'm going to talk about the 10 signs that maybe you are the reason why your daring goals are not working. What I'm looking to achieve from today's discussion is just the identification that we could be playing a certain role in why things are not working. We usually like to blame politics, economics, all of these things that we put our team members, etc. But sometimes we don't look straight in the mirror to see that hard as you are working, determined as you are, full of intent as you are, you could actually be the reason things are not working. So I'm hoping it will be a reflection period for you as we're going through these points, and at the same time it confirms to you that you're normal. If we could come up with these points, it means you're not the only one going through them, so that should give you a bit of peace. But however, knowing that to achieve those goals, something is going to have to change, and in this particular case it appears to be you. So here's the first sign that you could be the reason why your most daring goals are not working. The first sign is that you keep waiting for the time to be perfect. Perfection paralysis. We cannot sit and wait for things. You know, I used to say, in my own understanding of it, is that I have an excellent spirit. So I would say because I have an excellent spirit, I want to stay true to my excellent standards. So I'll make sure I cross every T and dot every I. That in itself is okay. And you see that there's a very thin line between excellence and perfection. So we have to know that some of the things that we would like to put in our excellence, or that we would like to incorporate into our excellent work, can only come as we interact with people, as we put our work out there, as we share, as we present, and people give us feedback that we can then perfect and get to the excellent standards that we want. So it's important that we step up and we step out and not sit and wait for what we call perfect time. In reality, there's nothing like the perfect time where everything is just fully aligned. It's hard to accept that, but it's the truth. There is nothing like perfect time. And they say that indecision is the thief of opportunity, and opportunity is a man in a rush. So we better get with the idea of stepping out, doing it, learning from it if we have to, but by all means, let's not get into the perfection paralysis. The second reason that you could be the reason why your most daring goals are not working is that you're overthinking every step. This is the challenge that most of us have, because we're still trying to analyze if this is going to work, if I did it that way, and do all those what if analysis. While analysis is good, and I wouldn't encourage anybody to just step out and go on the whim, I would still say do not waste too much time praying for a whole year, consulting people, inviting people to the coffee shop, and gathering others to either discuss this thing with you, analyze it, or pray over it with you. Once you've prayed, once you've consulted, know when it's time to stop the paralysis by analysis and step out and do, because our growth only happens in the doing. Even the reality, seeing this thing come to life, you can only see it come to life by doing, by stepping out into action, rather than just sitting and analyzing. We could analyze and do the best analysis, but it will never actually grow into anything until we step out, and we are all about growing. So let's step out, let's make things happen outside of our comfort of analysis. The third sign that you could be the reason why your goals are not working, your daring goals, is that you are stuck in your comfort zone. You are afraid to stretch. You only do things as long as they keep you within the zones you're comfortable with, or within the areas that you're most knowledgeable about, and you refuse to step out of those comfort zones. And I don't even like this word comfort zone, because it's not really comfortable at the end of the day, especially if you are a high performance individual, a high potential individual. You know that the place you are at now is not all that you could be. So it's not that it's a comfortable place, it's a familiar place, and we'll always gravitate towards those familiar zones. But for us to grow, we know that our growth is outside of our comfort zones. Our growth happens when we are stretching ourselves, when we are risking something, where we are now forced to, draw deeper from ourselves. Talents and skills and thoughts and creativity that we never thought we had. But because you are stretched, you are outside of what you know, you are forced to bring out that from yourself. And it's usually making you into the person who can achieve those goals, those daring goals. So if you are not being stretched, you are not transforming, you are not outside of your comfort zone, then you are not becoming the person who's qualified, to actually achieve those high goals. So it's important that we come out of our comfort zones, we risk it, because if you are in a comfort zone, you'll be small. Success requires discomfort. That's a known fact. The fourth sign that you might be the reason why your daring goals are not working is that you keep drifting with daily trivia. This means that you're allowing your mind to wander. You're allowing yourself to be, taken by scrolling. You're allowing yourself to go through everything, every comment that somebody has made, daily tasks that we do, even the most trivial tasks that don't require your attention. There you are doing them. So I've seen that we like drifting so much that we don't realize it's actually reducing our productivity. I like sharing with my partner that we have this potent energy as high potential people. We have been dealt gifts, that we need to create time to allow those gifts to be worked out into something that the world can enjoy. But if we take all of that potent energy and we use it for scrolling, for commenting, for analyzing the things that we're seeing on social media or wherever else in the news, you are not seeing that drifting is actually taking you away from what you're supposed to be doing with your talent or what you're supposed to be doing with your gift. So this is why you may be the reason things are not working. You are taken away by things that don't even require your time. And I've seen that the more you grow as a high potential person, the higher the demands are placed on you. Like in my case, you are leading a team, you're doing all this, the other. Some of the things that you used to do for yourself, you should not do anymore. You should outsource and let somebody else do them because they have become trivia. They have become drifting. You cannot be out there doing those small tasks that you're well capable of getting somebody else to do for you, and you're still doing them. That is getting your mind to drift away from the things that you truly should be focusing on, which will move the needle to the upper level. So you need to stop drifting. You need to stop scrolling endlessly, and they call it doom scrolling. We are all guilty of it. We have to be aware if you're a high performer, because that could be stopping you from achieving your daring goals. The fifth sign that you could be the reason things are not working is that you are chasing too many goals at once, and I am guilty of that because we have so many things that we're juggling. You have a family, you have a business, you have all these things coming your way, you're studying, you're trying to improve yourself here and the other. So you have all these goals on the table and we're not prioritizing. So we cannot succeed from scattered energy. Success requires that we have focused, disciplined energy. So we have to sort of succeed in our prioritization and take prioritization seriously. Because I know that the more you are achieving in your life, the more the challenge you're faced with in prioritization is what's urgent versus what's important. And sometimes it's both urgent and important. And in my case, I feel when it's both urgent and important, you better prioritize that one. So that's what you need to do for yourself, so that you don't find yourself chasing all these goals, because the mere fact that you have them as goals shows that they are important to you. So why then would you then remove them? The idea is you're not removing them. You are just pushing them down in the to-do list or the to-achieve list, so that we can attend to those which are urgent and important. Sometimes, for example, I'll be building with the team bigger, longer term degree programs. And I have these shorter term ones that are very good for cash flow. So if we develop the short courses and we put them up and we start selling them, then it's good for cash flow, that the cash that we need now. But then the star product is the degree programs, which are more long-term. And so I have to attend to that and make sure that everybody is pushing their lot and these things are moving along for accreditation, etc. So you can see, one is important, is the degree programs. One is urgent, is the shorter term, courses that help with the cash flow. So you see that I'm giving you a real life example of the sort of decisions that you have to do. What are you going to prioritize there? Are you going to put this one because it's important, or you're going to put this one because it's urgent? I don't have the magic, but I'm just showing that we do have these things. And if we start chasing all of them, before you know it, will be spread so thin. And that scattered energy cannot lead to success. The sixth sign that you could be the reason your most daring goals are not working is because you're afraid to ask for help. I'm laughing because I am super guilty of this one. You're afraid to ask for help. You want to do everything on your own, but you could be using other hands so that you get to do more, and then your work grows, and you can also have time to grow yourself. I know that the reason I was saying I'm feeling guilty of this is that when you do the work yourself, especially when you know your excellence standards, your attention to detail, etc., you get to do work to a particular standard, and you do it in a particular time, or in a set period of time. So when you outsource or you delegate to somebody else, they are going to do it at a particular standard that may not necessarily be your golden standard, and they will take more time. I was talking to Dr. Mazuduma at some point. He's like, when I operate on an animal, he's a vet, I would take something like 50 minutes, and I would then delegate to somebody else, and they would take 2 hours for the same surgery that I would have done in 50 minutes. And he was saying to us at the time, look, I am learning to delegate and allow somebody their own space to do things in their own way, etc. So we tend to be afraid to ask for help. We go it alone, not because we are always afraid in the direct sense of afraid to ask for help and like what would somebody say. Sometimes it's because you don't think somebody else is going to do it to your same standard. At some point, as a high achiever, the higher you go, you're going to have to delegate and allow somebody else to do the work that you otherwise could be doing, because we can only grow from collaboration. Success is attained in collaboration, not in isolation. So we have to have collaboration, we have to have mentorship, we have to lean on coaches. This coaching part is something I had to learn somewhere along the way in my journey, and I wish I had known it much earlier, to understand that the best of the best in sports, in all these other arenas of life, have coaches. Technical specific coaches that they bring on board, and we want to go it alone. No mentor, no coach, none of it. We don't want to collaborate, and that is limiting you, and it could be the reason why your most daring goals are not working. So we have to stop going it alone. The seventh sign that you could be the reason why your most daring goals are not working is that you keep revisiting old failures. You keep replaying in your mind what has not worked in the past. So you're basically living in the past when we are here in the present trying to map the way forward for the future. It is only natural for you when you're trying something, especially if it's something you've tried before, to start thinking, oh my God, I tried it before, it didn't work, and I'm not about to embarrass myself again. But here is the deal. We have to learn from our mistakes. We have to learn from our failures. We actually have to stipulate, this is what I think I've learned, this is what and give ourselves permission to do it again. It could be that very same thing again that you're doing. And you should also give yourself permission to say, even if I fail at this thing again, I will still do it. I will still step out and try. Rather than to say, I failed at this thing again. If I fail at the very same thing again, people are going to laugh. That's not going to get you anywhere. You have to be willing to try it again and not live in those experiences of the past. Learn from them and step into the future and do it again, and risk failing at it again. Because I know how that, you see, Thomas Edison was trying to make the light bulb for us, and we are told about how many times he has failed. Jack Ma will tell us about how many times he has done things wrong. He has failed here, he has been rejected there. So you can't live in your past failures if you're going to go out and achieve. Otherwise, you will die with your high potential. My idea here is, let's look at why you could be the reason holding you back. So if we keep replaying the tapes of what happened in the past, we are going to cripple ourselves and create new fears that stop us from stepping into the future. So no more replaying tapes. Let's learn from the past, and let's not let our past hold us back from what we're doing in the future, or what we're looking to step into in the future. The eighth sign that you could be the reason that your most daring goals are not working is that you don't believe that you are deserving of success. This one is a huge deal. You keep self-sabotaging because you are doubting if you're the person who should be doing that thing. So I could be sitting here recording this YouTube video or recording this video, and I'm thinking, I'm not the best person who's placed to be doing this. Somebody else should be doing it. No, you are self-sabotaging. Before you know it, your thoughts are going to start now becoming reality, because we can just tell. As you're standing there doing your presentation in the boardroom, we can just tell this person is shaking everywhere. But I thought this was the only expert we have here in this particular area. So if you don't think you're the person who deserves to be implementing that thing, then we're going to start seeing you self-sabotage. You need to remember, my dear high achiever, my dear high potential person, that success requires a sense of self-belief. You have to believe that somewhere in there, inside of you, God placed something that it takes to deliver that particular goal. So you have to have that sense of belief. If you don't think it's packaged in you, then we have a bigger problem. We have to know that you are the person. You have to be the one who knows it. It doesn't matter how much we tell you. You're going to have to get yourself into your own counseling corner and say, I'm the most well-equipped, well-experienced person and well-qualified person to sit here and do this. Am I perfect? Not at all. But I have been endowed with all that it takes, at least at this moment, to do this work, because the desire is there in me. You have to also know that you are a valuable individual. Everything that you have gone through, even if it's a couple of failures, a couple of rises, all of it put together, it's uniquely placed you to do the work that you want to do. So you have to stop with the self-doubt and self-sabotage. You are the person to do that job. You are the person to take on that project. Sign number 9, that you could be the reason why things are not working out, your most daring goals are not working out, is that you are not taking consistent action. Whew. Consistent action means that even on the days that you can see things are not working, you still have to put on those steps. You have to put one foot right in front of the other. Sometimes I stop with my colleagues and I say, guys, at this point, let's put one foot right in front of the other, because we have to be consistent. It is the compilation of the consistent work, the consistent action that then results into success. And people don't know what undercurrent waves you were going through at some point, what doubt you had, what fatigue you had at any point. You have to show up and you have to action consistently, and you have to persist, because at some point it's not exactly flowing in the way that you would like it to flow. And that is the challenge with high achievers who also happen to have been very good at school. At school, I'm going to study 1, 2, 3 and it's going to fly. Now when it gets to life, there's no 1, 2, 3. That's a given, that if you do that, the other, then the outcome is going to be that way. So then we struggle with when the ebbs and flows of life are happening. We deal with these undercurrents of energies, discouragement here, fatigue here, etc., doubts. So we need you to be consistent. Consistent action means that in the end, it ultimately compounds into what you are looking for in terms of that goal. But if we're not taking consistent action, then we're not going to get anywhere. When I was starting my business, I was told you are going to have to post consistently on your social media platforms. It doesn't matter whether you get 1 like, 0 likes, 10 likes, you are going to have to be present and have your digital presence. And the gentleman who was teaching us this, John Lee, let me shout out to John Lee. John Lee was saying, at the point where other people are going to be wanting to partner with you, they will be going back into your digital footprint to check out what you've been posting, what you've been about. So it doesn't mean that I'm posting for that 1 like, or I'm posting for the like that I'll be getting now. No, you're posting so that you stay available in the digital platforms in the event that in future somebody wants to see what you have been about or what your organization has been about. So you can see that consistent action means you keep doing it. You keep doing it, even if there's no cheering, no clapping, it doesn't look like anybody is doing it. And sometimes I would meet somebody who would then talk to me about, oh, I realized you guys were running a piggery course. And I'm like, you didn't comment. I didn't even know people were noticing all of these things. So it means that as a high achiever, you must know. You mustn't feel, you must know that your consistent steps, your consistent action is compounding. It's actually bearing the fruit that you're looking for, even during the times where you don't feel like it. Keep showing up, keep actioning, keep persisting. That's what we need. And if you're not showing up, if you're not putting those small actions together every day, you are the reason why your most daring goals are not working. And sign number 10 that you could be the reason things are not working is that you have a limited mental framework. You have a set of beliefs, a set of perceptions, things that you hold true within yourself about life, about this topic, about that thing that hold you back, that limit what you could become. This is a big topic. If you know me, you know I love talking about mental paradigms. Those paradigms are the lens with which you see life, or through which you see life, through which you process everything that you're doing. So if those lenses are, limiting you, or they're limited, then it means you are limited. You're looking at life and you're interpreting everything the way that you have known all this time, and that's limiting what you could become. Perhaps the goal that you're talking about is a sort of strategic goal that requires somebody who thinks in a different way, but your own thought patterns are not supportive of what the person who achieves this goal should have. So then it means we have a problem there, and that's why you could be the reason things are not working. It's important to shift your mental paradigm, challenge your own self. Don't wait for other people to say, I think the way you think about this thing is so wrong. Maybe they don't even have that maturity to see that you are the problem. So you're the one who's going to have to look into this after this video and say, what sort of thought patterns, beliefs, thoughts that I could be having, attitudes, internal mental attitudes could I be having about certain things, about money, about success, about clothes. There are people who just don't like dressing well. They think, have you seen Mark Zuckerberg, how he dresses? Does your identity card say Mark Zuckerberg? Well, if it doesn't, until then, let's dress properly. So you have to deal with your own limiting beliefs about any topic. There are people who don't like reading. When you start telling them about reading, they're like, you like reading. Well, then listen to an audio book, something. We cannot harbor all these wrong mental paradigms and believe that we are the right people to achieve the certain goals that we've set for ourselves. So you're a high achiever, you have potential, start working on shifting your mental paradigm, renewing your mind, and getting to the other side, because that person is the one that can achieve the goals you have in mind. I don't know which one of these 10 signs resonated with you, but I hope I've given you enough food for thought to see what role you could be playing in why your most daring goals are not working. Maybe it's not the government, maybe it's not the economy, maybe it's not your colleagues, maybe it's not even your boss. Maybe the problem could just be you, and we need to put you in the factory, start shifting our paradigms, start shifting certain things about ourselves and posturing a better posture, because that's what's required to go after these daring dreams or daring goals that you have set for yourself. I wish you all the best, my high achiever. Let's meet again in the next one.